you definitely need active listening skills. Second is you need to be very thorough in your research. Third, you need to have a very collaborative approach.
Hi, Shalakah. Nice to meet you. Can you tell us a little bit more about your journey into recruitment and how you got started in this field?
So, my journey in recruitment started, I think, when I was doing my human resources in my college days. And I was very excited by the thought, about bringing the right talent to the right position. All right. That was something, one of those sentences just kind of stick to you, in those lectures and one of those discussions. So that kind of just stuck with me. And it's a very cliche saying, right talent for the right position. But I was keen on understanding what it was, So I was doing my PG in human resources. So then I said, okay, here it is. I want to get into TA and I want to go into it. Well, back then it was not TA, so it was just recruitment. Right. So I started after graduating from, after completing my PG rather, I joined as a junior recruiter with one of the exec search agencies. And initially my role was to post the jobs and do all the coordination, scheduling the interviews, just accompanying my bosses for the client meetings, and this just take notes, right? So just learning the ropes of the industry, tricks of the trade. And then eventually, of course, I moved from one agency to another, from there to an in-house. And then here I am, after I think now I've almost completed 17 years in talent acquisition. I have had multiple industries, worked on multiple positions, right from I think the junior level positions, freshers, campuses, off campuses, leadership hiring, CXO hirings.
What do you enjoy most about recruitment, and how has the last 7 years impacted your professional growth?
That's a long time to summarize, but okay. What I love the most about recruitment is I think it's very satisfying. All right, I get a good night's sleep because I feel that, hey, I was responsible for creating a career success for someone. I think it's all about your career success. Your life revolves around it, right? I mean, right from what position you hold in your life, the respect you want from your family, the spouse you have, the quality of life your children will have, everything depends on career success. So I think it's very gratifying when I know that I had been responsible for creating a success in someone's career, or helping that person achieve a dream job or reaching their goals. I think that's very gratifying. So that is something I really, really love about my industry.
What's the biggest challenges you've seen or faced yourself when it comes to recruitment?
So many. I think recruitment, let's say hiring process per se, I think the biggest challenge anyone faces is dearth of the right candidate or the right talent. Second is the first one being quality of the candidate. Second one is the candidates dropping off. Here sometimes candidates shop around. They will be moving around with 3 or 4 offers in hand, trying to get the best. So you may want to kind of have a solid backup plan in the first place, understand, validate them, engage a little more with them, understand what their real motive is, what is it that is inspiring them for that career change or a job change, So you really need to kind of spend in that time. But yeah, that is one of the biggest challenges I think one faces as a recruiter. And yes, I think in profession, you keep facing a lot of hazards like managing different stakeholders, or I think that just adds to your persona. I think that just adds to your learning, and then you keep upskilling yourself one after the other failure or one after the other challenge. When you overcome it, you just come out stronger out of it. So
what are some of your best practices when it comes to attracting and hiring new talent?
One of the best practices that I always recommend even today in my team is Be a coach and a counselor to the person you're talking to. Don't try to be a matchmaker, that hey, here is an opening, I see 5 keywords on your resume, this is a fit, come on. That is something that you don't want to do. Have in-depth understanding of what the person really wants. So understand what, like I said earlier, understand what really inspires that person. Engage a little more with him. So that's one thing. Second is compliance. Just stick to the process. Things, there are lesser chances of things going wrong. So I'm a very, very process oriented and process compliant person. I need to see checks on all the process points, just to ensure that nothing is missed out. So that these are the 2 best practices that I often recommend. And obviously, stay connected, keep networking constantly, keep researching, know your stuff, because you don't want to be suddenly, in an industry, or suddenly you want to hear a word and you say that, hey, what does that mean? I have no idea. You're talking to a stakeholder and then probably he mentions a technology and you're like, what is that? Okay, let me go back. And so you don't want to look like a fool. So I think you always need to be prepared. You need to be dependable. So for that, you have to have enough knowledge so as to be dependable.
The core skill of a recruiter to be established is knowing your market better than most other people. I'll give you an example. I was speaking to, so you're working in
Technicolor Group.
Technicolor Group. So Technicolor, massive across the board. They brought over the workload for recruitment into India, grew that, and then basically India said, right, we'll just do this and we'll do a bunch of other stuff for you as well. Now, why do I know that? Because I know people who have worked in Technicolor. I understand how that market. And so this leads me to my next question. The riches are always in the niches, as they say, and your industry is something that as a recruiter, you truly have to understand, even if you don't have the soft or the hard skills within it or experience. So where would you, how would you guide someone looking to research an industry? Where are some of the places that you think are valuable for them that they can learn? And what are some of the techniques that they could utilize?
Where you can learn is, again, connect with people, network, talk to people. If you don't know, it's okay, ask them. It's fine to probably, like I said, I've jumped from industry to industry. Every industry, it was a new industry for me, right? From probably life sciences to manufacturing to IT to corporate to VFX, everything was new. But then unless and until you do not really spend time knowing what the industry is about, what is the talentscaping like, what are the nuances of this industry, what are the biggest challenges, what are the benefits, you will not be able to sell it to your candidates, any role, right? So first thing is ask as many questions as you can, be connected, read a lot about the industry. It could be LinkedIn, it could be you're just doing a Google research, you could be subscribed to certain newsletters, right? But point is, you attend a lot of webinars if you need to, attend a lot of in-person events. But the point is just being out there, listening, actively listening, not just just actively listening, make notes, refer to those notes, keep refreshing your material, your memory from time to time. I think that is something as a recruiter one must have. Maintain a Bible if you want. Whatever you're learning, just kind of write it down. By Bible, I mean a recruitment Bible. Okay, so I maintain thorough notes after every conversation I have with a person, a candidate. It could be a junior level, it could be a CXO level, but I have absolute in detail notes. That is one of the practices that I stick to. So if recruiters can do that as well, it really helps when you are talking to your clients, to the stakeholders, and even at some point to the candidate. Once they know you're genuinely interested in presenting the best option, they are also in for all the sharing. They are also in for a two-way communication, and I think there is a lot of trust building as well.
You mentioned some skills that you think are useful when it comes to recruitment. What skills do you think are useful or required to become a recruiter or talent acquisition specialist?
So one is you definitely need active listening skills. Second is you need to be very thorough in your research. Third, you need to have a very collaborative approach. It can't be just, hey, I'm great in communications, I can talk well. No, that's not communications, right? You need to be, today, if I want to hire someone for you, for Shay, I need to understand why is it that Shay is looking for someone, what is the context to it, would I be able to give that kind of information, how often can I collaborate with you, how are you placed in terms of time, everything, every small thing that may seem petty at times becomes important at certain time, in the hiring process. So that is one thing. They also need to have I wouldn't say eye for detail, but yes, they need to be detail oriented and play it by the ear. You need to kind of stir the conversation in a way that keeps the person in front of you engaged always. So those are probably 3-4 tricks up my sleeves.
Would you recommend a career in recruitment? If so, why? And if not, why?
So yes, 17 years, I would definitely recommend career in recruitment, but do not go for recruitment if you are not committed, if you cannot take out the time, and if you're not okay with certain targets, because it is a number driven industry, right? Data is the new oil. So if you are not comfortable with handling data, with being committed, right, then this is not the place for you. But if you really want to grow, if you really want to make a difference, not just in people's career but also in the industry itself, then go for it. Because this is something that shapes a particular organization. Like today, when GCCs are setting up, they are probably going from one place to lesser expensive places. It is all about your knack in recruitment, how quickly you are able to get people on board, or how quickly you are able to identify people. So I think that's something that one should bear in mind when getting into recruitment. And yes, if you want to grow, you want to make a mark, this is the field for you.
Is there anything else you'd like to share with us as a final question about your experience, or anything you think is useful for our recruiter community?
I think I would just like to summarize saying, keep the engagement going and be a coach to them, to the candidates as well as the stakeholders. Don't miss out on the process. Do not forget the compliances, and you will for sure excel in this area.